Bring us 2 absolute martinis. You know how I like them, straight up. And then precisely 7.5 minutes after that, you're gonna bring us 2 more. Then 2 more after that every 5 minutes until one of us passes the fuck out.
It's up to each and every one of you, my highly trained Stratonites, my killers who will not take no for an answer. Not hang up the phone until their client either buys or fucking dies!
Welcome to the Talking the Line podcast, presented to you by Talking the Line Sports Media, giving you our best insights and analysis so you can rake in some cold hard cash on your next sports bet. Now sit on back, open up your mind, and let's cash some tickets. We can't thank you enough for joining us. We hope you enjoy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, degenerates and gamblers, far and wide. Welcome in to episode number 126 of the Talking the Line podcast on this beautiful Thursday night football, Thursday night college football, everything in between of bets, also known as September 16th. 2021. Now, I know you're dying for nothing but Stone Cold Locks. I know you saw some of the tweets that were floating around the Bird app yesterday of some of the names the TTL crew is being held in regards with. So we got plenty of analysis, plenty of picks, plenty of good stuff to get into today. But before we do, my friends, please take a few moments to smash that subscribe button on whatever platform you are currently ingesting the TTL pod on. If you are watching on YouTube, you might as well hit that notification bell over there as well so you never miss the start of a live show or any additional TTL crew content dropping. Next item up on the docket. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't forget about those of you who like to listen to the TTL pod. If you are listening on your favorite podcast directory, make sure you hit that subscribe button there as well, as we do release the audio after every live show is complete. Now, that next item up on the docket, you can be so kind, you can find it in your heart. You got a few extra seconds while you're just hanging out with the crew here. Smash that like button, leave us a comment, leave us a rating, jump on over yonder in the live chat. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it when you do. And don't forget, hit that share button, share it with your brothers, sisters, uncles, neighbors, friends, enemies, everybody in between. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it when you do. And it only helps us make TTL Sports Media bigger and better for each and every one of you. Last, certainly not least, head back on over after you get done hitting that like button right below to this episode's description where you will find the Talking the Line link tree. Within that link tree, you can locate the talkingtheline.com website, all of the TTL Crew social platforms, and our additional content. So you, my friends, can consume all of that however and whenever you please. Ladies and gentlemen and beautiful gambling people, joining us on episode number 126, I am your humble host, Colton, Colt 45 Soroka, and thank you so much once again for choosing to stop by the TTL pod and get back to business as usual. I know you know the drill at this point in time. Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays are nothing but Stone Cold Plays. We don't like to say locks anymore. We're getting away from that word. We'll tell you why later, but Stone Cold Plays, picks, analysis, everything in between, and running tickets to the window with me and the guy sitting to my left. Now, it is my fault. I have yet to bring him into this show. And I would not be able to row the proverbial TTL pod boat gently down the stream without help from this man. Now, we may disagree on a few things from time to time as far as his cheesehead fandom, as far as my bear down fandom, as far as his horseshit Southsiders, as far as my wonderful Northside Ivy dwellers. But we do agree on one thing, and that's cashing damn tickets. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring him on in. The man, the myth, the degenerate gambling legend himself, Mr. Riley RMags Magnuson. Partner, how you doing over there today, pal?
My man, I am doing pretty damn fine. I got a couple things here. First, as far as the smash the subscribe button, I think our top of the wish list item is gonna have to be one of those like fair type hammer thing that is shipping.
Hey, maybe we just roll over to Six Flags Great America.
Yep.
It's only a few miles up the street.
There's got to be a local fair we can swipe one of those
Shit,
fuckers
I'm always
from.
about a nice little carny game. That's a hell of an idea, man.
We could fucking gamble with them on the hammer in there. So that's one. Your bear down. It was more of like the automated I'm a Chicago bear down fan. And that's about how the Bears season is going, about as automated and robotic as that. So that's my final jab on the Bears there.
All right. Thanks a lot, sweetheart. Appreciate you coming in. Welcome to the pod, episode number 126. We are live in prime time, my friends. Hey. Before we go anywhere, you know the drill. To me, to you, and to all you beautiful people out there sipping on some of the black elixir of the gods, take your sip and let's get to it. Oh, goodness. Hey, that's better than the last 3 days this week.
You got your coffee mix back right after the old honey almond, whatever the fuck it was.
Hey, I took that shit and I threw it off the damn balcony. I didn't even want to put it in the trash. You couldn't even put it in a trash. That stuff was so bad. It's not even trash. It just needed to be let off into nature and go do whatever it wished. Hey, you ever think about mixing almond and honey and coffee together?
Is that what it was?
Oh, yeah. Leave it be, folks. Leave it be. I'm here to tell you first, it is bad. Either way, We ain't here to talk about
No,
coffee.
sir.
We ain't here to talk about the Bears, the Packers, any of that stuff. Well, maybe towards the end of the show, we got a little banter, RMags Sidebar, my motivation minutes. You know how we close it out. We like to be a little bit different, keep the mundaneness of what can be a daily sports gambling show kind of out of the picture. We don't like to be this typical cookie cutter, however you cut your cookies, whatever cookies you like. We don't like to be that kind of show. You'll never find it here at the TTL Pod. But for now, stick around until the very end. But we got to cut all the nonsense, stop all the drama, and quit all the banter because it is time to get to the real reason why you come to the TTL Pod, especially right now on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays, but every other day of the week. And that is for the stone cold picks, plays, props, analysis, and everything in between. And running tickets to the window with the TTL crew all day and night long. Hey, so without further ado, we ain't wasting any time. We ain't wasting any breath. It's time to start getting out some plays. It's time to open up your sports book, open your ear holes wide, and get ready for nothing but straight knowledge to penetrate into your dome pieces. All that being said, I really mean get out your sports book because these fucking lines are moving all over the place. The public has woken up. It's all over the place, especially with our spread and total picks. Please open them up now. Get ready to smash these in. Do not wait. We have great value. We'll go through all of our Mags picks, all of my picks. We do have 2 TTL Crew Plays. We named it a TTL Crew Lock, but nothing's a lock. But this is just as close as it gets. 2 TTL Crew Plays. We'll recap everything for you, put it on the screen so you have one final opportunity to smash it in, and then we'll get on to the rest of the show. Oh, also might have a little college football value for you tonight as well in my picks. So, hey, let's get things started. First segment of the day, my friends. You know the drill. It's time to kick it on over to him. RMags best bets of the day. I already told you, turn that volume way up. Get them ear holes opened up. And without further ado, hey, partner, you have the floor.
Alrighty, I appreciate it, my man. So I've only got a couple here tonight, obviously, aside from our crew plays, which I'm obviously also on. But I've got one, we're actually on the second one also together. So I'll start that one off, and then I know you've got some
I'll fill in some gaps.
Yeah. You've got some solid numbers there. So my first one that I am on is going to be the old starting QB for the WFT Washington football team, Taylor Heineke. I am going over 22.5 rushing yards. This guy is more of a rushing quarterback than than what you may have seen. If you've watched him closely, you might see that. But obviously, you might be a little concerned about this. Not a guy that you know too much about. He's only taken a couple games where you've seen a decent sample size of him. Other than that, it's sprinkled in throughout the last few years. But in my eyes, he's appeared to be much more competent than people are leading on, and he's much more of a rusher than people are leading on. If you take out a couple early appearances in his career where he came in for a couple snaps, snap count in the game was under 10%. So I didn't look too far as whether it was taking knees or just random BS. So if you take those out, any game there, he's less than 10% of the snap count. He's got 118 yards on 15 carries. That's 7.86 yards per carry. 17 yards on 3 carries last week, but only played about 60% of the game. And he's got 2 games where he's played at least 90% of the game, and he's got a 33-yard game in there and a 46-yard game in there. One of those is in the playoffs against the Tampa Bay Bucks last year. So I think Heineke is going to be running, I don't want to say running all over the Giants tonight, but I think he's got at least 3-4 solid runs in him, kind of at the 7.86 yards per carry. I really like the athleticism that I saw last week against the Chargers. And, I think this game is going to be one where, and, you got some action here as well that I also like, but I don't think people are giving Mr. Heineke enough credit here. And I think he's going to have a hell of a game, and there's going to be a few spots where he's going to be using his legs here. Teddy Bridgewater he stayed under 22.5, but, the perception might be that Teddy runs a lot, but he picks and chooses his spots very carefully. And I think he was 3 carries for 19 yards, which obviously isn't over this. But I think Heineke's going to have at least 5-6 carries where he's getting 5, 6, 7 yards a carry here. So I'm going with this one all night long, partner.
I 150% agree with you. I'm on the same page. Listen to everything you're saying. Just battling my mic a little bit over here. Had to drop it in an RNC. Now it's listening to me. It's flopping all over the place. What the fuck are you doing? So it's all good now. We're back on the same page. All right. So, yeah, I do have a play opposite of kind of what you're doing. I don't
Yeah.
want to say opposite. It's just through the air and
Same
not
with
on the
Heineke,
ground.
sure.
But it's same with Heineke. I do love this one. I think that there is just not enough tape out there, and the books are setting these prices way, 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 way too low, and that'll kind of be how I kick off my Heineke analysis. But there you go. RMags first best bet of the day, partner. Please and thank you. We're both on this play together, and I think it has loads of value. Drop down. Number 2.
Alrighty, I mentioned you've got some key numbers on this one that I'll let you lay it down, but we are going with Antonio Gibson, under 70.5 rushing yards. And you might be concerned, or not concerned, but
Think we're fucking nuts.
yeah, especially with you being Mr. Gibbs Sons of Anarchy on your fantasy team. Nonetheless, we're going with under 70.5 yards. He had well over this last week. However, this Giants team is actually quite sneakily one of the better rushing defenses in the entire league. They were number 11 last year against the rush as far as rushing yards, and the majority of that was against running backs. So I think he's gonna have an okay game, but I think the 70 is a little too much for him. I think Heineke is going to be the guy that's making these plays for Washington, whether through the air like you're about to talk about here, or like I said, on the ground. And Gibson should make an impact here and there, but I don't think he's gonna have any big rushing yard, breakout runs. If you look at that game from last week, partner, against the Broncos that the Giants played, you see the box score, you see Melvin Gordon, 11 carries, 100 yards. He was sitting at about 10 carries for 30 yards until he broke loose a 70-yard touchdown run. I don't think that's going to happen tonight. Again, they also held down Javonte Williams to, I want to say, 14 carries, 45 yards, which these rushing numbers, as far as yards per carry, are extremely low, and I think we see that again tonight, partner.
I agree wholeheartedly, which is why this is one of my best bets of the day. Actually, my first one that I was going to dish out. So I'm so glad this is how you finished it, but I will kind of put a cap on it here for you, my friends. Now, I love Antonio Gibson. You alluded to it. Gibsons of Anarchy is the name of my fucking fantasy football team. So I would be insane to think he's going under 70, but as a betting man, this is where it's going to lie. There's a reason that they ticked it down to 70 after he put up 90 on 20 attempts last week. Reason number 1, it's low enough for the public to hammer the absolute piss out of it. Reason number 2, it's low enough that the sharps will not absolutely destroy it.
Right.
So you got both groups of betting parties taken care of, and I used a few different projection sources. Pretty much across the board, they got them they have Gibson projected at 61.5 yards for the game tonight. So I love that. But a couple of key trends and a couple of key things here I wanted to mention. In 2 appearances versus the Giants last year in Gibson's rookie year, he put up in the first appearance 30 yards. McKissick actually outpaced him with 41 yards. And in the second appearance, he put up 20 yards. Oof. Not to mention, both games, the Giants across the board held the football team to 86 yards in total and then 37 yards in total. Shutting down the football team's running game is where they hang their hats.
Right.
Not so much shutting down the passing game, but I'll digress on that and pick that back up here in just a little while. Overall, Giants were 11th in the league last year with only 111.4 rush yards allowed to opponents per game. So I love that. And it really has to be the right spot to be able to play this on Antonio Gibson. And I think this is just absolutely the right spot. 2 closing trends you guys got to note here, and I think you need to be aware of to hammer this one in. Mr. Gibson hit the over 70.5 rush yards in 2 out of his first 10 games in 2020 and hit the over 70.5 rush yards in 4 out of his final 10 games of the season. So either way you look at it, whichever side of the schedule you want to look, he's not favorable to this number.
Right.
So please, my friends, hammer this in. It's extremely valuable. The public looks right at it right away and is going to be running to the over. Do not do so. Mag's best bet. Also my best bet. We're taking it in both our cards. Antonio Gibson under 70.5 rushing yards.
Love it.
Anything else you need to add, lay down, hammer out?
I think he might be a little bit more of a factor in the passing game today, partner.
Well, hey, I enjoy the sound of that because I do need that for fantasy purposes, and that would help Mr. Heineke in my play on him as well. So, hey, before we get into all of that nonsense, partner, thank you for your plays.
Of course.
Thank you for your analysis. I appreciate the hell out of you as always. Let's get into the second segment of the day, the second half of the TTL crew, yours truly, that does a freaking lot of talking sometimes and just needs to shut up and get on with the show. So, with that all being said, second segment of the day, my best bets of the day. All right, my friends. So, already talked about Antonio Gibson play. That's number 1. I have, don't look at me sideways, 5 props coming at you. That Antonio Gibson is one of them. So we got 4 more to get through, but I believe they have immense value. I went through hours and hours of numbers on this. I went through a bunch of trends and looked at some key projections. I'm telling you folks, I am feeling a night and a half out of the TTL crew tonight. So let me give you these props. Listen up loud and clear because they're about to come in hyper speed. No hesitation, no delay today. So you remember me just a little while ago, I said, the Giants defense, they hang their hats on stopping the rush,
sure,
but not so much the pass. Well, I'll pick up right where I left off for my second best bet of the day, and that is Mr. Taylor Heineke, over 245.5 passing yards.
Doggone, partner. That seems like a high number for a guy like that.
Man, it sure does. He just is not a quarterback that good. And bingo, that's exactly why this is a very, very valuable play. There is no film on this man. He's played 2 games if you break them down in total. He's played 2 halves in 2 separate games and then 1 full game. And then that's all he's got. That's all he's got.
Right.
So you can't deduct anything. So first things first, you have to realize is that the books are setting that number based off of what he's already produced, and 245.5 is exactly 2 times what he's put up in both the games where he only played half the game. So he's picked up half the yards in half the game. Now, that all being said, those 3 games are very, 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 very important. Stat lines for him. The first one against Carolina, December 27th of 2020, he went 12 for 19 with 137, and that was a half a game. Right. The second one I'll skip over. The third game, I'll come back to that second one. Stick a pin in it. Relax. Hold on. The third
Trying
one,
to cover that up?
11 of 15 for 122 against the Chargers this past Sunday.
Right.
And that was only half the game as well. Now, the one that was a full game against the Buccaneers in the playoffs this past January 2021. He went 26 of 44 for 306. Played the full fucking game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, baby.
That is the game that matters the most. That was the true version of Taylor Heineke. You saw it with his feet. That's why my partner ran to that side.
46 yards in that game on the ground.
You saw it with the air, 306. That's why I ran to this side. But if you don't believe me, not anything crazy that you can draw from Heineke, because we haven't seen him. But the last 2 meetings between the football team and the Giants, Mr. Kyle Allen was quarterback, and then Mr. Alex Smith was quarterback. Kyle Allen had 365 fucking passing yards, and Alex Smith had 251. So, that being said, both those numbers are above the total today, and I think Heineke is a better quarterback than both those young men. I hate to say it. However, we just haven't seen enough, maybe a bit of an overreaction. Last final thought. Giants, you mentioned Teddy Two Gloves. They gave up 255 passing yards to him last week, and he is a very similar quarterback. Dink and dunk, might rip off a big one here or there, and might have a play in regards to him ripping off a big one here or there too. But I digress for now. My second best bet of the day, Taylor Heineke, over 245.5 passing yards.
Love it.
Third best bet of the day, my friends. Here we go. Keeping it moving, keeping it grooving. I am going to the other QB, the field general, if you will, but not so much the field general, if you will. Danny used to be dropping dimes. Jones. Now, I got some stuff to talk about here because I'm confused as shit what the books are trying to do to me and to everybody else, but I think I got the valuable side. We're going under 237.5 passing yards. Now, what I got to tell you before I look at all these trends, and it going up to 237 even cemented these numbers even further for me. They were already good, but now they're even better, so I'm confused. Books open this up right around 227. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I tweeted this morning. You can find it some places 229.5. So right there, okay, cool. Last night before I hit the pillow, about midnight, little after, it had jumped up to this 237. 238, I was finding it on books. Oh, whoa, 11 points, 10 points, what in the world? So my hypothesis, my friends, what I'm thinking is that the Sharps saw that total was so damn low, 225.5, and they started beating the absolute piss out of the under because he put up 267 yards last week. Why would you drop it all the way down to 225? So I think, and I'm not 100% sold on this, but I think they ticked it up a little bit more to get some more public buy-in on that over. so the public wouldn't see that 225.5 and be like, oh shit, it's dropped that much. He has to go under. I think they pushed it up a little bit more to get some buyback on that over. Now, that's just my hypothesis, but I got some more stuff to back this up for you guys. I found this projected multiple spots right around 225, 226.5. So you're giving me just about 11, 12 points or yards. I'm going to take that every single doggone time. And I think the football team confuses the absolute mess out of him today and really leads to that. Last but certainly not least, the key trends that you guys should be aware of is why I'm officially taking this play. He hit the over, Daniel Jones, of 237.5 in only 5 out of 16 games in 2020. 3 out of his final 10 games in 2020. The football team has allowed Jones to go over 237.5 in 1 out of the last 5 meetings, my friends. Going all the way back to 2018 when he took over for Eli. In other words, Jones is 4-1 to the under in the last 5. Jones averaged in 2020 183.9 pass yards. When you look at that compared to his average pass yard prop total that was set at 221.5, you see an average differential of plus 37.8. Holy shit, I have to take advantage of that edge as well. If you didn't watch episode number 2 of the Wise Words podcast with Preston Johnson, you can now see it, and we talked about edges, and that is my edge here, ladies and gentlemen. He might get right to it. He might get to 218. He might get to 220. That's okay. That's fine. It might be a little bit of a sweat, but I'm telling you, he's going to go under this number. Do not let the books trick you from taking it to 227 up to 237. That makes zero sense that they needed to do that at all, with the projection being at 225.5. He does not have success against the football team. The football team needs to ratchet it up and prove what they got on defense. Case closed.
I think I'm with you on it, partner. I think I am. I don't have too much to add, but I think the Washington football team defense, that's such a weird mouthful to say. I think they're going to cause problems, like you said, for him. And, we saw last week, he wasn't that effective against the Denver Broncos team. And I think we're going to see more of that, even more of that this week, honestly.
Our guy, what's up, Johnny C? We were just talking about you the other day, man. Where the hell's our guy been at? He ain't been in the chat. Hey, 100%. That's kind of what I'm thinking. He might not even fucking crack 200, dude.
Yep.
Like, that's kind of why I leaned to this one. And the fact that they ripped it up to 237, that just, I was like, okay, you ain't confusing me, pals. I looked at it pretty hard this morning, and I was like, I ain't buying into this shit. So, hey, either way, welcome back, my brother. Good to see you, my man. All right, so, hey, let's keep it moving, keep it grooving. My third best bet of the day. I'm going back to Danny Dimes. Oh, actually, this will still be my fourth. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is my fourth. Gibson was number 1.
Yeah.
Fourth, going back to Daniel Jones, but I'm going to his rushing yards total. It's 2 points less than Mr. Heineke's. It's at 20.5. Might have ticked up, might have ticked down. Not too sure. But either way, I'm okay with it going up to about 22. And I'm going to take the over 20.5 rushing yards for Mr. Jones. Now, you'll see the video floating around the beautiful interweb and Twitter today of the last time that Danny Dimes was on Thursday Night Football, and he absolutely bit the dust running for what was like a 70, 80-yard play, and his prop total was actually right around this. It was 16.5, and I played it, and I had pretty similar analysis. I believe that he can get this done in one swoop. He can rip it off. He can get 120-yard run on a blown coverage because, and not even a blown coverage, because the football team generates so much damn pressure. The secondary locks everybody down. They take everybody 50 yards downfield, and then he's got a 20-yard lane of open path. And I see it happening. And it was clear to me last week, too. Now, I'm not saying that Saquon isn't back, but there's something in me that's saying they're limiting him a little bit, and he's not 150% Saquon. There's a very distinct difference between that 150 and 100% Saquon. And when he's 150%, that's 150, 200 yards, and he's ripping shit off every damn game, no question about it. And you know he's getting the end zone twice. I don't think that's here yet. And I think Danny Dimes, his feet are a big, big part of the game plan to take some of that pressure off of Saquon, especially with some of that play action too. So I think he might get stuck in one of those boots, might have to roll out, might have some designed runs, and he gets well over 20. I got him projected right around 24.5 here in total, so I love that. He opened up last week 6 attempts for 27 yards, so clear he is part of the rushing attack. Not to mention, some final key trends. He hit the over at this total, 20.5, 6 of the first 7 games in 2020. Not so much towards the end, but that was because the Giants kind of threw that season out the window at that point in time. They look to be the same team they were at the beginning of last year. They look to be pretty much similar production-wise. They're trying to win football games in the NFC East, as weird as that seems. We're still way low on them, and I don't buy it, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, too. Now, he has covered the over in 2 out of the last 4 meetings on the 20.5. Did have a couple brutal games, but
against the football team or just in general?
Against the football team.
Okay.
But what I will tell you is that those games that he did struggle, those were the second games of the season. The football team knew the game plan. They knew what they needed to do. Both times he went over were the opening games against the football team in the last 2 seasons. So I absolutely love this one, and I'm going to be hammering the absolute mess. Already have. It's already in my bet slip. It's already locked in on action, everything in between. Daniel Jones over 20.5 rushing yards.
Okay. I like it. I think I'll back you on this one. This might be of the 5 that you have, this might be my, I don't want to say least favorite because I do like it, but probably my own personal least confidence on this one. And I love all of your analysis. I think he should get that number. There's just part of me that thinks the Washington football team just absolutely might embarrass him. But I think I'm going to be with you on this one, nonetheless.
Yeah, I just don't think and much like you just said right there, John, I just don't think that he's going to be able to really pass much at all.
Yeah.
And he's going to have, that's what he's going to have to do at some
point
in time. So there you go. There you have it. All right, my last one. Let me wrap it up here with my fifth and final prop. Now, if Heineke's going to go over, he's going to need somebody to help him out, correct?
Correct.
All right,
Very
so
correct.
I'm going to Mr. F1, Terry McLaurin. You know what the deal is. I'm going over 67.5 receiving yards. Now, last week at the Chargers, with a brutal QB situation, Fitzmagic goes out. Oh, ho, ho, Fitzmagic is out for at least 8 weeks on IL. But back to Mr. Heineke. IR, but back to, we are not in baseball, but back to Mr. Heineke, or Mr. McLaurin. That being said, it was kind of all over the map. They never really got a good offensive flow. They had to rush the ball a lot. It was all goofy, the time of possession in the second half. I'm throwing all that out the window, and with McLaurin being 4 for 4 with 62 against a good Chargers secondary, I think that continues here once again tonight. Now, I think it's set right at that 67.5 because I do believe a lot of the public is going to be on the underside of things. I think they're still going to be buying into Taylor Heineke is not that guy, and I do believe he is a dude. And I think he is going to need McScorin to have a game tonight, and that's why I'm playing this one. Now, all of that being said, it's prime time, baby. I think that McLaurin gets at least 75. But if you don't believe me, let me give you some key trends. You think I just come to a knife fight without a gun? No, sir. Not a damn chance. Hit the over, 67.5, 8 of the first 10 games in 2020, and 8 out of his final 10 games in 2020. So either way, you cut the cake there. He's still hitting that bad boy at an 80% clip. 3-0 to the over, 67.5 against the New York City Football Giants with 115, 74, and 86 receiving yards, and not a damn one of those games was in primetime football. That all being said, he missed one game or else he'd be 4-0 to the over. He had a little bit of injury going on, and I just told you, it's 75 plus for me. This is primetime Terry, ladies and gentlemen. You better wake up real fast and in a hurry and get ready for this man to absolutely have the burners on tonight. That all being said, one final time, my fifth best bet of the day, Mr. Terry McLaurin, over 67.5.
I'm right there.
Ticked up.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Oh, are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to check it right now for you.
Popped up.
No, it's at 67.5. I was checking something else just for my own comment here in a second.
All right. Well, there you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. My 5 Thursday Night Football props for tonight. Okay, now, quickly, everybody strap in. Everybody, Daniel Jones, hold on. Well, before I go anywhere, hold on. Daniel Jones sacked over under 3.5. Scary Terry, 85, and 2 TT. I like that. Sacked over under 3.5. Man, I think this is where we see Chase Young just ratchet it the fuck up.
3.5.
3.5 is a lot. I think under.
I think maybe
over.
I don't know. We didn't look into that. So.
I didn't look into that too deep, but we'll save that for the end of the show.
I mean, gut
reaction.
over.
Give me fucking over. Yeah. We'll talk about that a little bit more here. But hey, hold on. Wait a minute. Everybody cool out. Everybody settle down for a second. Hell of a question there, John. That all being said, I told you beginning of the show, it might be TNF Giants football team on the title.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not all we got for you. We got plenty of other value. You just hold on. That's
Yes, sir.
doggone right. Now, there is a college football game going on tonight, so I will be having two TVs pumping, rocking,
Most
and rolling,
definitely.
and just absolutely injecting it right into my veins and arteries. All that being said, we got the Ohio Bobcats against the ULL Ragin' Cajuns tonight. It is at Cajun Field in Lafayette, Louisiana. Now, that all being said, they don't have Southern accents down there. They have whatever the hell that is, but my Southern accent has now come out, folks, and we might just do that with the Southern accent. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do it. 2 plays coming out of this one. I'm going to the spread, and I'm also going to the game total. I'm taking the Bobcats plus 20.5 or 21.5, wherever you're finding that. I'm perfectly comfortable with this bad boy all the way to 17.5. I think this is I think this is a touchdown game max. I think this is an absolute overreaction. I'll tell you a little bit more, but I'm also taking the under in this game, 56.5. I wanted to get both those out because I think those lines are going to start popping. But for the first one, Bobcats plus 20.5. Like I said, this is way too high. This is way too much of an overreaction. The public loves the Cajuns. I love the Cajuns. They were fucking terrific last year. They were awesome to back. They're a great team. But you look into it, Ohio and ULL are the same damn team. They are the same damn team. There is no size, height, weight. They're the same team. And even though they're kind of in different conferences, a little bit different wavelength, Ohio didn't play in 2020, so almost nobody knows jack squat about them, and they are under the radar. Sure, Colt, they got their asses whooped by Syracuse, 29-9 in week 1. They couldn't finish drives. They were still figuring out how to get back on a football field in 2021. And I think they got that figured out. And I think this is a back and forth scoring affair. Now, I'm not saying they get the victory, but I do project this as a 28-24 victory for ULL. So that obviously covers the plus 20, and that also takes us under. So I had to make a play on the under as well. But final closing thoughts on the Bobcats. As far as rushing goes, neither rushing offense is anything to write home about. Neither rushing defense is anything to write home about. ULL is 119th in the nation right now with an 83.5 average per game on offense. And then Ohio's 93rd in the nation, actually a little bit better with a 136.5 average on offense. Defensively, ULL's allowing 163.5 yards per game to opposing running backs, and Ohio 120th in the nation, 233.5. So right about the same wavelength there on both, but how about the passing game? Oh, I'm so glad you asked because, yeah, ULL's pretty damn good. They got a solid passing attack, a very good quarterback, but so does Ohio, and they're going to be able to keep pace plenty here today. ULL is ranked 31st in the nation with 293 right on the dot passing yards per game, and Ohio's only 95th in the nation with 190. I think they'll get around a little bit more higher than that, 200 to 250. Now, that being said, might be even a little bit higher because ULL's defense is 123rd in the nation with 312 exactly pass yards average to opponent quarterbacks per game, and Ohio State 21st in the nation with 143 average yard allowed to opposing quarterbacks. So I think the Ohio secondary, I know the Ohio secondary is going to have just fine evening keeping pace. I think both of these teams are going to score at an identical clip. It is not going to be a runaway for the Ragin' Cajuns, and I'm not buying into that nonsense. But you know me, closing trends. Ohio, 8-0 ATS. You know I'm a day of the week homer. Last 8 Thursday games, damn it.
Maction, baby.
Woo, Maction. Ohio, 13-3 last 16 games as a pooch. You know I love me a good underdog. ULL 0-4 ATS last 4 games in September. 3-6 last 9 games following a straight-up win. ATS. ULL is also 1-5 ATS in their last 6 home games. ULL 3-6 ATS last 9 games as a favorite, and 1-3 ATS last 4 games as a home favorite. I'm not buying into the nonsense. This is not a 3-touchdown game. This is a 1-touchdown game maximum, maybe a 2 field goal game maximum. So please and thank you, not for my benefit, for yours. I am going to be hammering. No, I've already hammered the shit out of it. So please do as well, my friends. The Ohio Bobcats plus 20.5.
I love it,
Sick
my
'em
man.
cats.
I love it. I am on both of these with you. I just didn't quite have the same confidence as you did. Not to say that I don't, but, not for the podcast here. But I love it. I don't think it's a 3-touchdown game. ULL hasn't looked, they're not the same team they were last year either. They're still solid. I enjoy watching them, but they don't have that same edge that they had last year.
They don't have that pop.
I was also looking, and you and I talked about it before. I said, hey, maybe a little alternate spread plus 14. Get a little juicy odds here.
Hey.
You can't catch Ohio any less than 17, plus 17. That's the lowest DraftKings lets you go. I haven't checked FanDuel, so maybe it's a different story there, but that sounds a little concerning to me. The lowest you can go is plus 17, and then if you're really back in Ohio, you got to go all the way to their money line to catch any more, any higher or any longer odds than that. So
And I mentioned I wasn't scared of plus 17, huh?
but
do
the
you
odds
know
aren't even
about
that spectacular.
Well,
Yeah.
either way, what I do know is that the 20.5 is extremely valuable.
Yeah.
On addition to what everything I said, there's a lot of other stuff that goes into
And you
this
can't
as
even
well.
get an alternate spread on FanDuel.
Can't even
So,
get an alternate spread on FanDuel. Thanks for checking, partner. Let's get into the second final one from me. Ladies and gentlemen, live on your screen. Not live on your screen, I'm sorry. Haven't got to that yet. My second best bet, college football best bet of the evening. Now my seventh and final play, all from me before we get into crew plays. Taking the under 56.5 in this game. Told you that kind of based off my projection. I see this as a 28-24 game, right there about 52. I wouldn't take this any lower than 54.5. Now, these two teams so far in 2021 have actually combined 3-1 to the under on their game totals. You want to know where those two of those three unders have come from? The Ragin' Cajuns, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're worried about anybody, it should not be the Ragin' Cajuns. They are an under team so far this year. They're 4-0, and oh, you know I'm a day of the week homer yet again. 4-0 to the under their last 4 Thursday games. They're 4-0 in their last 4 games to the under following a straight-up loss. They are 4-0 to the under in their last 4 home games, and as a home favorite, the under is 5-0-1 in ULL's last 6 non-conference games, and 5-1-1 in their last 7 games overall. I know they're a scoring machine, but if you're worried about anybody, it shouldn't be them. They got the under trends, and the Bobcats are going to keep this one tight. So give me the under 56.5. Don't go under 54.5 for my 7th and second college football final best bet of the day.
I love it, my man. I love it.
All right. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now let me get this nonsense off of the screen real quick. Yeah, Johnny, if you're still hanging, yeah, he's a huge sleeper. He is a solid guy for sure. I think he's going to have a solid game, but
Who's
I think the quarterback for ULL.
Oh, okay.
I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but yeah, he's a solid. They got a great team, but the thing is, that's too damn much. That is too damn much for the team they have.
Too damn high.
And these teams, too damn high. And these two teams are really similarly matched. All right, so enough blabbing, enough flabbing. There you go. RMags picks, my picks. Now, we have 2 more to cover real quick, and that is the TTL Crew's best bets, the crew plays, if you will, of the day, of the evening. So we are going back to the matchup between the Giants and the football team, and let me get this bad boy slapped on up in prime time, the TTL Crew play. All right, we got 2 plays. We got 2. We're going to the spread now. Please do your line shopping. Before I start anything, say anything, do your line shopping. We are going, and you can probably tell from the color of my shirt, but hey, maybe you haven't known by now. Going to the football team, -3 here. That is way too juicy not to take. Now, if you're seeing it -3.5, I would be very tentative, and I would find with all my might to stick it at 3. Now, I'm still not over the moon confident in the football team that this is not a field goal game, but I do think that they get it done and they cover that -3, no question. But the -3.5 just scares me a little bit.
Less insurance.
The value is gone. There's less insurance for sure. That all being said, as far as my thoughts on this one, a couple key things I wanted to lay down. As far as the public's perception, man, they are all over the Giants still. They still think they have a lot, but I'm not buying it. You can look, everybody, we talked about it before. Everybody's a genius now. Everybody has their own things. You can look, the Giants are 4-1 ATS in their last 5 against the football team. Is a whole new cup of pudding, a whole new cake mix. This is going to be a whole new cake that comes out of this oven here tonight. Let me tell you that, ladies and gentlemen. So listen on up. I'm not buying the fact that the Giants went 6-2 ATS last year on the road. We talked about that in the season preview, and I'm not buying they went 6-1 ATS as a road dog. You can miss me with all of that. They were easy games against the Bears, against the Cowboys. That was the game Dak was injured, against the Eagles, against the football team, and against the Bengals without Joe Burrow. So give me an effing break with 6-2 ATS on the road. The other three were the Ravens, Seahawks, and Rams, and they got manhandled, and they covered huge spreads. So I don't even want to hear any of that nonsense. Football team, 6-3 ATS at home in 2020, 1-1 as a home favorite. Not many opportunities, so when you see them this low, smash the hell out of it. They are a entirely new, completely new, powerful team here in 2021, and I think we're going to see that defense flex their muscles and keep the Giants from, for the first time in a few years, even cracking 20. It's my humble opinion, but that all being said, football team has had more games than the Giants in the last few years, and I zeroed in last 2 games last year. They let the game slip away, but they have rushed more, they've passed more, they've produced way more. 402 to 350 in the first game last year, 337 to 240 in the second game last year. Tongue-tied as all hell. Let me stop talking. Give me some of your thoughts, partner. Washington football team -3.
Yeah, the main thing that I can add here is that, you kind of alluded to it, but I think people are sleeping a little too hard on this Washington football team, man. Obviously, they lost last week, but if you follow us for a while, we truly think and kind of, in our opinions, validated that the Chargers are a damn good football team, an extremely complete team, had a fantastic game plan for the Washington football team that the Giants will absolutely not be able to duplicate. I think it's going to look very similar, at least for the Giants on offense, that we saw last week against them in Denver, where they put up 13 points. It might be even worse this time around tonight. And, I don't know if I want to be overconfident in Washington's offense, but I think they're going to be just fine tonight. I'm not saying they're going to be high flying. I'm higher than most. We're higher than most.
I'm rolling a big old Heineke doobie. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
We're higher than, well, if you're talking like that, then we literally are higher than most on Heineke. But yeah, -3, like you said, just because of the less insurance, and it could be a scrappy NFC-ish game, and the -3.5 gets way more dangerous here. But I like that -3 so much, man. And, I think at worst case, it's a 3-point win for the football team. I think their defense manhandles them and kind of does what the Denver Broncos did last week, if not even worse to their offense.
Bingo. Now, I do not want to say that the game last week against the Chargers was fluky, but if they don't have those QB issues, they don't have those things happen, it's a little bit, they can stick to their game script a little bit more. Yeah. I think that game's different. And we talked about it too yesterday. The Chargers got Anthony Lynn out of there. They lose that game 9 times out of 10 last season and any season before. So the Chargers are very, very, very different. And the football team, I think they just had a few too many jabs in the side that caused them to get beat by 4 points. So I think they take this game by 4+, no question in my mind. Do your line shopping, find the football team -3, and hammer the shit out of it.
Yeah, if you've got no choice at -3.5, I would still say get a little alternate. If you have no choice, I would still eat it. It would be a little less or a little scarier, but I'd still eat it. Yeah,
be a little bit of pump for sure, but I'd still eat it. No problem. Now, that's 1. How about 2? We're going to the total. This one too. Do some shopping. My partner, I'm a little bit scared for him, but it's all right. We're gonna stick with it. I think that's gonna still be fine. We're going under 41.5 or 40.5. I would be more comfortable at 41.5. This baby opened up at 43.5, and it has been just drove down by the Sharps. They know how this game's gonna go. Now that I think about it, I wouldn't go under 40.5. I'd be very, 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 very tentative, but I think it's still going to be there, and I think this game could finish right at 40 on some just absolutely goofy 23-17 type stuff. And, hey, there you go.
Okay.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But that's where I'm leaning. I locked it in earlier in the week. I saw it drop from 43 down to 41.5. It ticked to 42. I didn't lock it in, and it dropped back down to 41.5. I said, hell no, I'm not missing that. And I hammered it on every single book that I own. So I am bought into this very heavily, so you know where I'm sitting. But that all being said, let me just rip some trends for you. You know I dive deep into these bad boys. The football team, 6-3 to the under at home and 2-0 to the under as a home favorite. The Giants 7-1 to the under on the road and 6-1 to the under as a road dog in 2020. Washington 4-2 to the under in the division in 2020. And the Giants 5-1 to the under in the division in 2020. The under is 5-0 in the Giants' last 5 after a straight up loss. It is also 9-0 in their last 9 after an ATS loss. Not to mention the football team is 4-0 in their last 4 following a straight up loss, and the under 5-2 last 7 meetings between these two teams, and 20-8 in the last 28 meetings overall. This is going to be a nasty, scrappy battle affair this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure my partner might mention a little something about the weather as to why we absolutely love this fucking play. So please, partner, indulge us a little bit more.
Yes, sir.
On the under 41 or 40 and a half.
You're taking the little words out of my mouth because that is exactly where I was going. I think my biggest concern with this would be maybe a couple defensive touchdowns or like deep in enemy territory turnovers. But I think we're going to stay way under this total, man. And like you said, it's nothing certain by any means, but at least something to consider is that it sounds like there's going to be rain storms leading up until game time. So this field condition might be a little soggy, might be a little nasty, and there's even a chance about halfway through this game. So I'm not sure if that's going to have any effect. Maybe it clears up. Maybe their grounds crew is better than I imagined, but I think that might play into it here. I would have been on this total regardless of the weather. But having that extra caveat kind of gives me a little extra confidence here. But nonetheless, even at 40.5, like you said that I still love this one, my man. I think this Washington defense does even more. Has even more success than Denver's defense did against the Giants here today.
For show, say no mo. To you guys out there, what I was just thinking right there, I know you saw me. Now I don't have to click back and forth between all my stats and trends and shit and produce the show and everything, so I can see more on YouTube now. So rest of the show, you guys want to drop in your questions, either bets you want to look at tonight, anything we might not have missed that you were interested in, college, anything like that. We definitely will. Tomorrow's show is the loaded weekend slate show,
baby.
so we'll definitely don't worry. If you're like, hey, where's Friday's value? Where's Saturday's value? How about Sunday? Don't you worry. We're going to have another loaded Friday show, so we got all that locked. But if you got anything for tonight, maybe even any MLB, don't get too far into MLB. But definitely, if you got college football and NFL, drop them down, and we will be more than glad to connect with you guys and give you some of our opinions. So, that all being said, my friends, let's keep this thing moving. Let's keep this thing grooving. With the only thing we have left to do before we talk a little bit RMags Sidebar, a little bit of crew banter, maybe we had some in time in between our nonsense here. And then, hey, Colts Motivation Minutes. You need a little extra inspiration, motivation, get on about your Thursday till I see you again on Friday. Hey, we all need it. And I got a very, very, very good one cooked up for you here today, you best believe. So stick around to the very end, Motivation Minutes. But quickly, pull those sports books back out if you put them away for any reason in particular. If you did not catch one of the TTL Crew's best bets of the day today, you didn't get them in your bet slip, it's okay. You have one final opportunity, my friends. So you now, for the first time live, are getting the best value that is out there that we have found, and these lines are going to be on the move. So my friends, get ready to hammer. The TTL Crew's best bets of the day, now live on your screen for the first time on this beautiful September 16th, 2021. We're over here. How you doing? You always gotta keep you guessing. We might be here, we might be over there, we might be nowhere to be found. Sometimes we can just do some crazy shit like this and you might not even see us. Oh my gosh, holy shit. We're back. How about that action? I'm slap happy today. I'm just having some fun.
It's a football day,
because it is a Thursday night football game. So hey, here you see it, ladies and gentlemen. First things first. Right above us, land the plane. RMags best bets of the day. He's got 2. We're on one of them together, and that is Antonio Gibson under 70.5 rush yards, and he is also on Taylor Heineke over 22.5 rush yards. If you would so kindly turn your attention to this big portion right here. Don't call me crazy. I know it's 7 plays, but they all have extremely good value. I too am on that Gibson under rushing total at the 70.5. I am going to Taylor Heineke's pass yards total, and I'm going over 245.5. Taking Daniel Jones under 237.5 passing yards. Mr. Daniel Jones over 20.5 rushing yards. Terry McScorin, F1 McLaurin over 67.5 receiving yards. And then my 2 college plays of the day, my friends. I'm taking the Ohio Bobcats plus 20.5 or 21.5. Shit, I take it all the way down to 17.5. And also the under 56.5 in the game between the Bobcats and the Raging Cajuns tonight. Then all the way up there, you see the TTL Crew's best bets. Damn, they look real good. They are the Washington football team -3 and the under 41.5 or 40.5. We'd be more comfortable with it at 41.5 and -3. So be sure to do your line shopping. But lock them in, hammer them home, sprinkle a little bit of dough down. Whatever you need to say, just make sure you get today's TTL Crew best bets of the day in it, whatever the current best line is on your favorite sports book. Do your damn line shopping. All right, there we go. There we have it.
Great stuff.
No money line dice roll today. Obviously, we're not wanting the dice to disagree with us on any spots or do anything crazy, but always got to cut a promo for the good guys. If you want to roll your own, we'll have them back on tomorrow's show. Most likely, we'll have a nice little roll to go on over the weekend. You want your own set? You want to start cashing tickets? They're 1-0 to start the NFL season. They were on a 8-0 streak, I do believe, to close out.
I don't even
the
know.
last
It was
time
something
on the
ridiculous,
MLB.
though.
It was hot, and they stay hot. You want your own set? Make it super easy. Just go down over yonder to this episode's description, and you'll see the moneylinedice.com website. You hit that bad boy. You can pick out anything you want on their website. Nothing's off limits. We got the hookup for you, and when you get to your cart, TTL10, you enter in that little coupon code. That is TTL10. Get 10% off your first order at checkout. So go save you some, start rolling alongside the crew, and then you'll start cashing tickets with the all-knowing cubicle objects we refer to as the Moneyline Dice. Thank you so much, Dice, even though you were not live in studio. Thank you, Dice. Thank you, Dice, if you can hear us. All right, that all being said, my friends, a little extra time for you to check out all of the plays of the day. There you go. There you have it. They are now gone. They're done. That's it. Okay. That is episode number 126, my friends. All of our best bets, all of the TTL Cruise plays. We recapped everything. Now, you know how we finish things out here. We got a few mini wheats left, right around 11 o'clock, maybe quarter after, somewhere in between. Mini wheats left. Okay. Sometimes in between 11 or a quarter after. We'll be right in between there. We'll get you out of here. So, first things first. Partner, anything burning on the brain, melting on the heart, festering on the soul that you have been dying to get out to the kind folks that joined us on episode number 126 of the TTL pod on this BEA beautiful Thursday of bets, also known as September 16th, 2021.
Okay, so try to do a little investigative journalism here for this sidebar today, partner. And, you know, we all know that Mr. Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones, looks like the love child of Eli Manning. Yes.
Okay,
yes,
sure.
I'm
going up the roller coaster right now.
So, I mean, I did some digging. I tried to see if I could connect the dots there, if there's anything there from grasping at straws.
We're pretty fucking high up.
It turns out that 15, 16-year-old Eli Manning in 1996, 1997.
Oh, we're high.
May not have traveled to the old state of North Carolina where Daniel Jones was born. However, it's a little inconclusive. I didn't confirm nor deny it. You know, you're kind of hanging up there.
Over the ledge.
I tried to dig up some old game logs. Maybe old Louisiana high school that Eli went to. Maybe they took a trip up to Charlotte, North Carolina, and some paths crossed. But
nothing.
Turns out there's no databases that I could find that go back to the late 1990s as far as Louisiana high school football
Not
stats.
a damn thing.
But like I said, I can't confirm nor deny it. That 15, 16-year-old Eli didn't make a trip up to North Carolina. So,
something to think about.
The jury's still out.
Something could potentially happen. Maybe passive cross in the past.
The jury's still out, man.
Who knows?
The jury's still out.
I'm still
convinced.
out as to how actually Mr.
I'm still convinced.
Yeah. Hey, maybe it was just a weekend getaway.
Yeah.
It was just a quick little thing. 15,
trip up
16-year-old Eli. Eli's not the wiser of the two brothers, I would say. I don't
never know, dude.
You never know. You never know.
You never know.
We're not saying, we're just saying. Show me the damn DNA test.
Actual fact, Giants lead this series with the Washington football team 105-69 with 4 ties. So a massive split there. Going to take a long time for the old football team to catch up. And, it starts tonight. How about that?
I like the sound of it, baby.
Nice little 180
I like
there,
the
huh?
fucking sound of it, John. If you already dipped out of here, we love you too, man. Peace out. We'll keep bringing the heat. We kind of have just completely gone off
You're
the
welcome.
rocking chair at this point in time. So hey, thank you.
Of course. How was
for
that
your-
roller coaster ride for you?
Yeah, that was all over the fucking map. We dropped down and we came back up and we hit the tune in a loop-de-loop, and here we are. So, all right, my friends, all that being said, couple final key closing thoughts. Okay, here we go. Last but certainly not least, a couple of TTL updates, a little bit of more banter. Partner, anything that we missed, didn't cover here? Didn't
No, sir.
check out?
Not a single word has come out about anything, really. So we've got absolutely nothing.
Hey. We just got another follow from somebody really, really motherfucking important. If you know what I'm saying in regards to wise words and some
Okay.
upcoming guests. So
Okay.
very, very excited about that. We did some reaching out, got Big Dog out of his comfort zone, and we secured a big fucking guest, baby. Fucking hype. So I cannot wait. We'll that'll still be a little bit while yet before we get all that officially locked up. We're hoping to get them slotted in for the 29th. See what happens, see what's going on. But if you haven't watched hell of a time to talk about it, if you haven't seen episode number 2 of the Wise Words podcast featuring the legendary sports cheetah Preston Johnson, yeah, that's right. Us two goobers had a 45-minute conversation with the Preston Johnson, and it was absolutely electric. We had loads of good conversation. I was taking notes the entire time, trying to remember everything he was saying. I mean, we covered NFL, we covered the future of betting, the current state of betting, and just picked his big old brain left, right, and center, and hopefully we'll be able to connect with him again. He said anytime we want to have him back on, he'll stick around, so we would love to do that again. So if you haven't checked it out, episode number 2 is live. If you don't know what Wise Words is, hey, it's our other show. You haven't seen it, check it out. It's our other show. We connect you with the brightest, sharpest, and most electric personalities in all the sports gambling industry. We got 2 out now. Third one is going to be dropping next Wednesday, September the 20th. We'll be recording that on Monday, this upcoming Monday, for Monday Night Football and your weekly, pre-weekly hint. This man, too, is of the worldwide leader, the ESPN.
Currently, actually.
And currently, unlike Mr. Preston Johnson, who is no longer, he is currently and holds a pretty high up position there at the old worldwide leader, and we got the opportunity to talk with him. Now, I tell you again, my friends, I wake up in a parallel universe every morning, started pursuing a dream and pursuing a passion and loving what I do and doing it for the purposes of finding fulfillment. And yeah, all the things are coming together in full circle, and it's kind of a joke that it's actually all happening.
A little bit.
I absolutely love it. And that all being said, we're going to keep bumping and grinding for you guys. And we keep saying it, and you're starting to see it unfold, my friends, slowly but surely, brick by brick. We told you we are on the rocket ship. Strap the fuck in. Get ready to leave orbit and go to the damn moon. Told you I'm slap happy as all shit here today now, ladies and gentlemen. One final update outside of that. If you didn't hear it on yesterday's show, we now have a full new set schedule of D-Pod during the NFL season. That is Monday, business as usual. Cash and fucking tickets. Monday Night Football. Probably not going to be any college football games. There might be here or there,
maybe
but
every once in a
there
while.
generally isn't. So it'll be all Monday Night Football, picks, props, parlays, everything in between. That also being said, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, no business as usual. It is Tuesday recap day. We go through the previous week. So this upcoming Tuesday, the 19th.
Oh, I didn't know what you're struggling with there. I could have helped you out if I knew what you're struggling with.
My bad.
No, 21st. 19th will be the Sunday, pal.
Oh, so the 22nd is going to be the next episode of Wise Words
Yeah.
dropping, not the 20th. We are recording on the 20th. It's
Yeah.
dropping on the 22nd. I said that wrong. My bad. I should have looked at the calendar, had it pulled up. By the way, yes, we will be... what the hell was I just talking about there? Oh, yes, Tuesdays. Okay, sorry, guys.
Tuesday
I'm
the
all over the
21st.
fucking mouth. Yeah, so Tuesday the 21st, that will be the week 2 recap. And then Wednesday the 22nd, Wise Words Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, will be the week 3 look ahead.
Right.
So Tuesday and Wednesday, recap, look ahead. That'll be all throughout the NFL season. Once we get through the NFL season, then maybe some college basketball. NBA about a month out. Holy shit.
Ooh, babe.
College basketball. The timer's going on the website.
About 2 months
I think
until
it was 54 days. I looked this morning. I think it was 54
about 2
days.
months. Maybe there's a sprinkle of a good game and then some random games.
I got it set for the start of like the classics and all that shit.
Okay.
So it's coming. It's coming. That being said, that's all that. Thursdays, business as usual, just like today. Thursday night football, if there's any college, picks, props, parlays, all that jazz. Keep it right around an hour. And then also Fridays. Fridays will be the hour and a half show. That'll probably be close to the hour and a half because we have Saturday action. We have Sunday action.
Friday action.
College football and NFL. Then, Friday action. And then it's time for Colt to start giving out UFC picks again, baby. So we're back in business as usual. A little bit of a bump in the road 2 weeks ago. I was on a 9-0 streak. Now I think I'm like 12-6. It wasn't a very good week. Nothing great. But hey, we still got some winners on the board. And I'm going to be giving them back out again. So probably have a little bit of that action on tomorrow's show as well. If not, I will definitely hammer them out and dish them out on Saturday. That all being said, we got a loaded fucking show tomorrow. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the doggone notification bell so you don't miss the start, you don't miss the best lines out there. If you tuned in a little late today, you said, oh my goodness, I've missed all of the live lines, and now I got to wait until they get over with it, and I got to go back. Don't do that to yourself. Just tune in live. Turn on the notification bell. You never miss the start again. Pops right up on your mobile device, your computer, whatever the hell you want, and you just hop on in. Here we are. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Can't tell you how much we thank you for stopping by every day. I'll probably say that about 5 more times so we close out the show. But damn, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you. That all being said, also, got a quick shout out to give before that. Might be currently on here. Don't know if we are currently on there or not. But if we are, shout the fuck out to my guys over at Sorrentino's Barbershop in Arlington Heights, Illinois. Hey, you guys mean the world to me. I appreciate the hell out of you guys. Billy, Danny, Caesar, Tony, and Anthony. Oh my gosh, they're going to kill me for this right now. They're absolutely going to kill me for this right now. Terry, not Tony, Terry. They are probably laughing their asses off if they
Terry's
are watching
gonna
in the
hate you,
shop.
man.
Terry, I love you, my man. You know I never pull you any bones even when all the guys are out
Terry.
there giving you
Terry.
That all being said, if you guys live in the northwest suburbs or in the Chicagoland area, hey, now you really remember it. If you guys do, you need a good cut. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this man cleans me up nice and good every 2 weeks, gets me looking fresh and back in action again. That all being said, you need a good cut. You go see my man Danny or Anthony or Billy or Caesar or Terry. They'll all take care of you, no
There's
problem.
going to be
at
one
all.
other person that you're leaving out, and they're going to hate you even
Nobody
more.
I'm leaving out. Nobody I'm leaving out. 5 chairs. Those all 5 guys right there. We're in business now. So, hey, love you guys. I appreciate you guys for rocking the show if you do have it on live today. And, hey, free promo for you guys. Might have to get a little extra tip when I come in next time. Either way, brain went blank as all shit right there. Not Tony. All right. Boy, that all being said, wanted to give out that shout out to you guys for sure. So that all being said, what I was going to tell you before that was make sure you go to this episode's description, hit that link tree. You'll see all of the talkingtheline.com website, all of our social platforms, and our additional content. So you can consume all of that however and whenever you please, right? One central location, super simple. Don't you worry. Also, you want to find our best bets of the day before anybody else, before we even dish them out on the live show on a day-to-day basis. Follow us on the Action Network app. I am at cash_with_Colt. Riley is at RMags in all caps. And then you can find the Talking the Line best bets of the day at Talking the Line. I know, extremely hard to remember. But if you don't have the Action Network app and you're watching this on an internet browser, just go to that little plus tab, open up a new one.
Yeah.
And then what you'll do is talkingtheline.com. You'll type in there, and then it'll take you right to our homepage. You'll see everything we've got, all of our additional content, and you can hit that Today's Best Bets tab, and it'll show you all of today's best bets. And wouldn't you know it, you can even bet right from our website on your favorite sportsbook. And if you ain't signed up yet, we got some pretty damn good deposit bonuses for you too. So hey, bet with the TTL crew. We got you hooked up. No problem, no questions about it. That all being said, that's all I got for updates. About to get into some motivation minutes, my friend. That all being said, let me double check. Tyrell Williams in concussion protocol. Okay. Not anything crazy to note, but yeah. All right. So no late breaking, anything stunning news. Let me get a quick sip of some high quality H2O.
Most definitely.
And here we go. All right. Back to it. I'm still laughing. About my boys at Sorrentino's. That freaking killing me right now. All right. All that being said, here we go. Back to the show and wrapping it up all the way. It is now time for the only thing we have left to do. The only thing that we do that no other show does. Give you some stone cold inspiration and motivation to go with the stone cold analysis, insights, and we don't like to say it, but locks. So, without further ado, let's get into my motivation minutes of the day. Now, for some reason, I was supposed to tell you guys this today. I don't know why. I don't know who needs to hear it. I don't know exactly where I'm going to go with it. But my partner knows. You guys don't. If you know what the Time Hop app is, it is basically you can connect all your social medias, all that shit, and you can go back through time, and it'll show you a year, 2 years, 4 years, whatever. A year ago today, I was not podcasting. We were not doing any of this.
No, sir.
And I tweeted a set of lyrics from one of my favorite artists. You guys know this, Russ. And he basically... I'll get him out, actually, because it's actually really important in regards to this. I wasn't going to hit on this, but it's actually really, really important. So I tweeted this a year ago. He has a line in there, plus you lack the persistence, not to mention the intrinsic motivation that it takes to even chase after a vision that only you can see, that only you believe. So watch your tone, you're not even you enough to fuck with me. So I tweeted that a year ago. That's just a line in there. I have that song on first thing this morning as putting together the studio. Line in the song also, direction is way more important than speed. And something in my mind this morning was just telling me process over product. I want to have a message on that, whatever. And direction is way more important than speed happens. So all this destiny stuff is happening. I'm listening to that song, a different song comes up, and bang, here we go. So today's message, direction is way more important than speed. And a little bit more on that too. There'll be kind of a flip side of the coin as well. But all that being said, you got to keep the faith through your process. I guess that's the main part where I want to start here. Direction, way more important than speed. If you have a vision, a goal, a passion, something that gets you up in the morning and gives you fulfillment, but maybe you're not at the peak, maybe you haven't reached success in your terms, as long as you got that thing, that is way more important than anything else. It does not matter. As long as you have a vision, a mission, somewhere that only you believe, only you can see to get to, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter how fast you get there, because it might take a year, it might take 3 years, it might take 10 years, or it might take a week. You never know. That's the beauty of it. But whenever you're chasing something like that, you got to remember that your direction and where you're going in this life, if you're going forward and going up, that is way more important than if you got the rabbit mode on or if you got the turtle mode cocked down, for those of you who love to mow on Saturday afternoons. That all being said, I said this, it's been a few weeks now back, but the intro from Gemstones featuring Chris Ellington, I like to say that from time to time, kind of bring it back to the surface, but there's a line in there that plays into this as well. Remembering that life isn't about where you are, more so where you're aiming. And we all know a person aiming at nothing is sure to hit it. Remember that life isn't about where you are, more so where you're aiming, and we all know a person aiming at nothing is sure to hit it. So if you have a process, but you're just going through a mundane life, you ain't got nothing to work towards, work for, work through, yeah, you'll hit that. You'll just keep being mundane, you'll keep doing the same things, you'll keep going. But if you're aiming at something bigger, something powerful, I've said it before, it was my quote of the month, never let something die that you can't go a day without thinking about. Direction is so much more important than speed. And it kind of segued me into this thought as well. Don't confuse activity for movement. Don't think that just because you're tweeting, those tweets are actually worthwhile. Don't think that just because you're, I'll just use this, going on YouTube, that it's actually worthwhile. Do something that is actually worthwhile. Don't confuse activity for movement. I equate this to, that person that just talks to talk, that is just always talking just to hear themselves think and to let everybody else know how much they can talk. Don't be that person when you're chasing things in your life. Equate it to that. Don't be the person that is just, oh, look what I do, and I'm doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that. Are you just going in circles with a bunch of different nonsense that really doesn't matter at the end of the day? Or the things you're doing propelling you into new directions? So don't confuse activity for movement. And I said this already, but it is so important to realize that your process is so much more important than your product. And that can be with anything. That can be with any small thing you're tackling right now, any big thing you're tackling in the future, or just your life in general. The process is so much more important than the product, because the process is where you find who you are. It's where you add to your tool belt, if you will. It's where, I talk about it, you add that mental and spiritual armor, so when you get to that final goal, it's always so funny how it works out that every little thing that you battled and had to dig through to get to that goal, you end up facing in that goal, but it's just no big deal, and you don't even realize it. But you've already been built to be able to handle that. So the beautiful part is when you start to worry more about your process than your product, that's when you start to take notice of those things. You get to that goal and you say, that's why. You have those, oh my gosh, moments. So start to fall in love with the process and find those moments as they're happening. I've said this before too. Adversity can become your best friend when you realize that it's just there to help you learn and grow. And that's Colt and Soroka, baby. That ain't nobody else. Make adversity your friend. Get used to falling in love with your process over your product. Don't confuse activity in that process for solid movement. And remember, as long as you are going, as long as you're in the race, as long as you put the doggone keys in the ignition and you're going around the track in circles, you can be in dead ass last. I've seen 50 car pileups happen and the least likely guy crosses with the checkered flag. Direction is way more important than speed, my friends. Keep your head down. Keep grinding. Today is your time. And before you know it, you're going to have a knock at the door, a ring on the phone, and it's going to be your future. And then all of a sudden you're going to realize, oh my gosh, I should have waited and slowed down and stopped and take more advantage of that. Fall in love with the process, my friends. And realize that as long as you're in the race, it doesn't matter how fast you're going. And that does it for my motivation minutes of the day.
Good stuff, my man. We're getting close to hour 15, so I'll save some time. But yeah, good stuff, my man.
Hey, I'm right on there, man. Right on spot on time. 11:14. So, hey, we won't waste any more time. We'll let you beautiful people get on about your day. You got inspiration and motivation. You got stone cold locks and the analysis and trends to back them up. You got good vibes. You got some laughs. You hung out with the crew. There's not much more else we can do for you here right now, but actually there is. We'll get off of the show. We'll work hard at continuing to grow the TTL sports media brand and making TTL bigger and better for each and every one of you. That's our promise to you, to repay you for sharing your hard-earned energy and time with us. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it when you do, and boy, oh boy, we can't tell you how much we thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Seriously, you guys are the shit, and we would not be doing this if it was not for you guys, so thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. Let's send you about your Thursdays the only way we know how. ladies and gentlemen, degenerates and gamblers, far and wide, from myself and Mags. Once again, thank you so much for stopping by episode number 126 of the Talking the Line podcast. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate your support, your following, and everything in between. And hope you hit that notification bell and keep coming on back around and that subscribe button too. But for now, on this beautiful September 16th, 2021, I tweet it every single morning, but I'll tell it to you here today. It's a beautiful day to be alive. The rest is up to you, my friends. Have a spectacular rest of your Thursday, unless you have any other plans. Get today's best bets of the day hammered in, so you can say right next to us, right with us, at the end of every show, let's cash some tickets. Bear down.
Pick up the phone and start dialing. Does your girlfriend think you're a fucking